morning, everybody. My name is Reverend Maria Leggett, and I am so excited to be on here with you guys. This is one of my favorite highlights of the entire week that I get to pop on here and share beautiful messages with the people who call in. It is truly an honor for me to do the work that I do. It is such a blessing, and it is not something that I ever thought that I would be able to do. So I'm glad to be able to step into this. One of the things that I love to do the most is I love to teach people how to work with their intuition. And so, if you are interested in learning how to work with your own intuition, I have a free course. It is a free coaching session, and I do it on the first Tuesday of the month. And it's called Practicing Your Intuition. So, if you'd like to sign up for Practicing Your Intuition, you can go to templeofthesacredcircle.org, and that is my online temple where we practice stuff. And of course, you can find that information on my website, which is marialeggett.com. And excuse me, I do that on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's about the same time as the show. It's about 45 minutes earlier. So if you can watch the show, you have plenty of time to be able to hop in and join me in the class and learn how to use your intuition. And because it's a free course, I run it like a webinar. And so what I do is I invite one person to come in live with me on the video feed, and we start to work with your signs and symbols so that you can begin to understand how your spirit team is working with you every single day. We tend to forget that we have people who want to work with us. We have this team on the other side who are helping us all the time. And it's a way for you to begin to understand some of the things that they're trying to speak with you, especially when you have questions about what's going on with my job, what's going on with my home life, what's going on with my children. Am I, what purpose am I serving here on the earth? This is a really good way for you to begin working with your signs and symbols so that you know what to do. Like one of my favorite signs and symbols is a sun. And when I see the sun, I know that means it's time for me to start receiving some clarity on a situation. Now, the sun could mean different things to different people. And knowing what this is, you want to look at, what does the sun mean to you? When I say the word sun, does it mean warmth? Does it mean clarity? Does it mean happiness? What does it mean to you? So I would be honored to take our call from Tunisia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Did I pronounce it correctly?
I think you did. Tunisia?
Yes. Yay! How may I
Yes,
help
it's not
you
an
this
easy one.
evening?
Thank you. Mostly, kind of like you were talking about, like direction in life. I've had some career changes. I've had a lot of deaths in my family. I'm just turning now 52, so life changes. And mostly just some reassurance that I do have some guidance, and how do I maybe connect with that guidance more?
Absolutely. Listen, you're my age. I'm 54. So we have so much life that's left in us. And Spirit is showing it to me. I'm going to take my glasses off here for a minute. So Spirit is showing me that it's like things before now have been like you've walked through life, you've done the things, and things have been kind of blurry, and you're not really sure, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And Spirit is showing it to me as though right now is a time for you really to begin changing the path, right? And I'm stepping into a new career, something that's really important to me, something that I want to do. They show it to me as though you've spent a lot of your life kind of just doing what was expected. Does that make sense?
Yes, or what I expected of myself, thinking that's what I should be doing, but I hated it.
Yes. Yes. And they're showing it to me as that now is a time for you to kind of literally reevaluate things. And that means even if you job hop for a little while, because they're showing me like different positions with shorter stints than what you're used to, but being okay with that, knowing I am testing the waters to see, what do I like? What do I want to enjoy? Because I've spent so much time doing what I expected of myself, or following what my college career path said I was supposed to do. That now I'm open, and it's time for you to begin the shift and the change. Um, they're talking to me about it's wind. Why are you showing me wind? So it's like I'm sitting in a room where there shouldn't be wind or I shouldn't feel a cool breeze. And it's like all of a sudden I can feel this breeze come over me, like just shift past me, and I kind of get the chills. And
Mhm.
Spirit says, this is how you know when we're around you. We're there because you're feeling that energy. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And so they want you to know this is how often we're around you. We are there every day. And all you have to do is say, okay, what do I need to know? And boom, the first thing that you hear in your head, that's going to be them answering. What follows
Mhm.
that, trying to excuse what you heard, that's your ego.
Okay.
Because oftentimes, we have these conversations with ourselves and we think it's with ourselves, and it's really not. It's I mean, you could call it your higher self, you can call it spirit, whatever you're comfortable with. And it's being able to listen to what they're having to say without finding an excuse for, oh, I must be crazy, it must be this. No, they're there with you all the time, and they want to help you to get more comfortable working through things. And even as I say that, I feel like my face is getting really hot and I feel like I'm starting to have a hot and
Mhm.
spirit is showing me that this sense of change in the body is some stuff that's happening, right? If my body can change, why can't I change everything else? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they're showing me, I don't know if you own an oracle deck, but they're showing me for you to go out and get an oracle deck that you're comfortable with, because you're going to be able to ask, what do I need to know today? Shuffle the cards, pull one, and look at it. What does it say? And more so than what it says, start looking on the card. What is on that card, and what do you first see? If you see a white dove on the card, what does that white dove mean to you? What is important for you to know about that? For if I were to see a white doves to me mean the beauty of spirit. It's that connection to the other side, because that's one of the signs that's in the Bible, right? It's this beautiful dove, and it's a representation of the Holy Spirit. And that's the connection to the other side. So recognizing that
Mhm.
they're going to speak to you through oracle cards. Do you have a deck?
I have several. I've got the Osho Zen. I've got the Mermaid. I've got several.
Yes. Yes. Start pulling one every single day so that they can start using those cards to talk to you and give you the information that you're looking for. And they're showing it to me that it's not going to be so important to look at the guidebook, because so many of us want to get stuck in the guidebook. I have to read it. It has to match. But
Yeah.
to be
What does
able to
that
look at the
mean?
card. Yeah. And being able to trust yourself, right? Trust your intuition, trust what you're getting so that you can continue walking that path that makes you happy and that you're comfortable with. And I don't know how you understand this, but they're talking to me and saying that you're really comfortable with spiritual energy. So if you had never
Mhm.
thought of it before, that a spiritual career is really good for you. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm so analytical. I talk myself out of it, but I think I do have abilities. I have difficulty developing them or trusting them.
So we are all born with the abilities to talk to spirit. It is not something that you're born with or you're not. It's not like that at all. We all have the ability. Like, I didn't do this when I was younger. This was something that I had to work at, and I had to learn
Mhm.
what my signs and symbols are. I had to practice all of this stuff. So it's why I love teaching it. And if you're open to it, I would love to see you in my Practicing Your Intuition class. That's a free class. It's on the first
Mhm.
Tuesday, and you can find it on my website, marialeggett.com, or on Temple of the Sacred Circle, which is my online temple. And we also have
Mhm.
a paid class that's on the second Tuesday to teach you how to begin working with your symbols and delving down into different tools to start working with that. And the reason why I giggled about you have this very analytical brain is because so did I. So I was in
Yeah.
the corporate world and I was in printing for 30 years. And when I left my job to do this full time, I was writing crystal reports. I was working in software. So I was in that IT world, which is very left brain thinking, which is not anything that you would
Yeah.
think somebody like this would do. And
I was
you're
laboratory
really,
and medical, very, very logical.
oh, yeah. Yes. And spirit doesn't exist. It has to be scientific. Prove it. 2 + 2 = 4. Here's two apples. Here's two oranges. Well, how many pieces of fruit do we have? Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that way. You can train yourself to start letting go of your ego and saying, "Hey, I'm ready to step into this." And in that first developing your intuition class, we're going to meet one of our spirit guides. We're going to learn how to let go of our ego and what it feels like when our ego answers us, because your ego doesn't have to be there for mediumship or being able to talk with spirit communication. Your ego is there to help keep you safe during the day, absolutely, but it has no place in being able to have a conversation with spirit. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Very much
and
so.
and they're showing me that you're really ready. And one of the other things to you, along with learning spirit communication, is energy healing, like working with your hands, learning how to send energy, learning how to receive energy, and how your body feels these things. And it may be contradictory to your training, but it's also what you're ready to step forward into, because you're now recognizing there's something so much more than just this. There's a whole other
Mhm.
world out there that we can't see, and you are really ready to step in and embrace that. So if you're ready to take classes and learn the things, you could absolutely do your own spiritual business, and you can do it on the side, right? As a part-time thing that fills your cup and makes you happy. Does that make sense?
Right. It does. It does. That would be. I have. It's almost like I still have to prove it to myself. I still have to have it. Like I
Yes.
don't know. I just. It's tough because that self doubt and that analytical and that confusion and the naysayers and the haters. They
Yes.
just get to me so
Totally
easy. And I'm like,
understand.
I'm just
Totally
crazy. That's
understand.
all. I'm just crazy. I'm just
You're
weird.
not
I'm just
crazy.
traumatized. I'm just
No, you are
oversensitive.
not crazy. You are, if it helps you make you feel any better, that was me 7 years ago. So I'm right with you. Thank you so much, Tunisia, for being on here. I am so grateful to have had this time to be able to speak with you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who watched. I am so grateful. Have a fantastic rest of your evening.